Trojan family, Trojan family, Trojan family, what's the deal? I hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. And as you guys know, you see the subscription, well, not subscription rather, but you see the title, Trojan Commit. Trojan Commit was shot 10 times. And do we have a quarterback controversy? We got to talk about this. Do we have a quarterback controversy at the University of Southern California between Miller Moss and between Caleb Williams, man? But listen, we got some unfortunate news first we got to address. And it's a USC commit, man. It's Aaliyah Gals. She's a number 8 player, and she's committed to the University of Southern California basketball team. And number 8 player in the country. And this girl was shot 10 times over the weekend. She was shot 10 times. And it says here, according to reports, 4 people, including 2 minors, suffered gunshot wounds after a quarrel broke out inside a North Las Vegas home. And I'm familiar with this area. I lived in Vegas for 4 years, so very familiar with this area. And I mean, I just hate to, whenever you hear a story like this, whenever you hear something like this, you know, this girl, man, I mean, she has a future ahead of her. And she committed to the University of Southern California to play basketball. She decommitted when the coach retired, but then she recommitted, I believe, this past August. So let's keep her lifted up in prayer, and hopefully all the surgeries go good, and she just pulls through this thing. She has a future ahead of her, and we don't want to see any young person like that pass away, man. So let's pray for Aaliyah Gals, who's committed to the University of Southern California. Now, we got to flip this thing, man, because Lincoln Riley had a press conference over the weekend. And, of course, it was a scrimmage over the weekend. And, I've been raving about the defensive players, but we got to talk about some offensive stuff right now. The O-line, and we got to talk about, Corey Foreman did have 2 sacks over the weekend, and that's good. And so can you imagine Remilio Hyde on one side, Corey Foreman on another side? And, of course, we know Elijah Winston, he's pulling through, he's coming through. But listen, let's talk about some stuff that's going down on the offensive side. First of all, the offensive lineman, what Lincoln Riley had to say about the offensive lineman was incredible. What he had to say about the offensive line was absolutely incredible. Now, we know that Lincoln Riley has great experience with offensive linemen, right? We know that he has experience because Oklahoma has produced good offensive linemen. And as a result, they benefited from his schemes. They benefited from his development. And so Lincoln Riley knows what good offensive linemen look like. He understands that. And so, but for him to make this statement, it lets me know that what I've been saying about our offensive linemen all year. Because last year, if you guys remember, our offensive linemen, they were gelling like midway through the season and towards the end of the season. Our offensive line was gelling. This is an experienced offensive line. And see, you guys might have thought that I was trying to knock Josh Connolly. No, we needed him and we want him for the future. But the current offensive line right now, they're experienced in the gelling. And what he said, he made a statement. And you tell me what you guys think. Oh, don't forget, you guys like, share, subscribe. Hit me on Instagram, USCJ32. Don't forget to hit me on Instagram, USCJ32. Follow me on there, and you guys can message me on there, and I'll be able to get back to you probably faster than some of the comments. It seems like the comments on YouTube sometimes are delayed, but you guys hit me at USCJ on 32 on Instagram, and I can get back with you ASAP. But his comments about the offensive line is very telling. What he said about the offensive line. He said, I don't think our offensive line could just be good. He said, our offensive line, I think, could be great. Whoa, wait a minute. What you said? Lincoln Riley said our offensive line he thinks can be great. Now, you talk about a guy that's had experience at Oklahoma with their offensive line, their development, and the schemes that they ran over there. And for you to see that over here, for him to make that statement over here, like I said, I told you guys it was an April surprise with the defensive tackle, defensive tackle from Kansas State, the production that he's doing right now on the field, and how he's looking his motor. He's going hard with his motor right now, Mr. Tyrone. Now, I think it's the same thing with the offensive line. I don't think Lincoln Riley really understood the offensive line play that he had here. But now he's starting to see it unfold, and he said, I don't think our offensive line could be good. He says, I think our offensive line could be great. That is some great news, because if we want to try to make a run for it, we want to have a strong. Now, the depth issues, that may be a problem. And he did say this. He did say this as it relates to practice. And I'm about to transition over to Miller Moss and Caleb Williams. He did say that because of our numbers, we only have 60 scholarship players right now playing. We only have 60 right now practicing that are healthy. And he did say that because it's only 60 scholarship players, he said these guys are getting crazy reps. And as a result, they're staying injury free, but as a result, they're getting better. So when they normally would get, less reps, because of more players, they're now able to get in more, and it's really helping our team to develop faster than what it normally would develop. And so as we move toward to flip it right here, when we talk about Miller Moss and Caleb Williams, he says that Caleb Williams and Miller Moss, these guys are basically, you talking about 1A and 1B, and some will look at it maybe as the arm wise 1A and 1A, because Miller Moss is throwing the ball that crisp, that sharp, and that on point to where it looked like it appears to be a quarterback controversy. But let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you why it's not a quarterback controversy. And Miller Moss, he said, that Miller Moss is getting like 50% of the reps right now because of the least amount of players that they have. So Caleb Williams getting it basically, and Miller Moss is getting it. And so you're able to see these guys. And no, let me tell you this. You guys know that Lincoln Riley is the developer of all developers when we're talking about quarterbacks. You had Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts. You had all these. This is why all those guys want to transfer to him. He knows a good quarterback as well. And so I think the beneficial, Miller Moss is benefiting right now for the 50% of reps that he's getting right now with Caleb Williams. 50% Caleb, 50% Miller. I think not only is he benefiting, I think he's now it's exceeding his development. That he's able to capitalize on this, and as a result, Miller Moss is throwing some zip on the ball. Miller Moss is getting that ball right in front of these receivers, just like Caleb Williams is. I'm looking at both of these guys in practice, and you can't tell the difference with the passes right now. Miller Moss is zipping it, Caleb Williams is zipping it. Miller Moss is throwing it in the air, Caleb Williams is throwing it in the air. You really can't tell the difference between either one if you just want to say pass-wise, and that's real talk. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road, and here's why I say that Caleb Williams and Miller Moss are not in a quarterback controversy, or there is no quarterback controversy. And let me ask you this. Well, let me say this: is it because of only the Beats endorsements that Caleb Williams have, and as well as the grooming company, all these NIL deals that we wouldn't put Caleb in front of him? I want you guys to like, share, subscribe. Or Miller Moss in front of Caleb. Tell me that. Like, share, subscribe. I want to know you guys' opinion. I want to know if you guys seen some film on these guys and seen these guys, or would you put? Is it just a given that Caleb Williams has to be in front of Miller Moss? That's the question I want to know from you guys. Like, share, subscribe. But here's what I think. Here's what I think separates these guys, NIL deal or not. If you look at the Caleb Williams film last year, and you've seen what he did when he was able to escape pass rushes, when he's able to read defenses and make critical decisions at critical times, because sometimes you have to check it at the line. You have to check some plays at the line. And I've seen Caleb Williams read defense. See, I don't think people really understand when you're talking about Caleb Williams. And see, this is why Spencer Rattler, for him to make these crazy comments. See, Spencer Rattler, I watched him in some games last year, and Spencer Rattler was indecisive with the ball. Meaning, when players would come off the edge and they would rush him, he would just make goofball plays and just throw the ball in the air, and it just didn't make any sense. And he was very indecisive. He didn't know what he wanted to pull it down, or he didn't want to know. But his IQ is not there. But Caleb Williams, when you talk about a football IQ, this is what separates, I think, Caleb Williams. He has a football IQ that's like no other. He studies the game, so he's able to check a play. Meaning if the defense is in one place, he's able to check it at the line and able to make adjustments at the line. Not only that, he's able to make critical, smart decisions during a play, in the middle of a play, which means that he's able to make adjustments in the middle of a play if he's seen that he wasn't able to check the play at the line during the middle of a play. Caleb Williams, his thought process is able to check it in the middle of a play. And as a result, you see him run down the sideline for like a 50, 40-yard touchdown, something like that, doing Oklahoma last year while he was at Oklahoma. See, everybody don't have that ability or attribute. You know what I'm saying? Spencer Rattler didn't have it. And that's why he's looking at it from a different perspective and can't understand it in his mind, because he don't understand that you are indecisive with the football and you couldn't make the critical decisions at the critical times. But that's the game changer between Caleb Williams. And I think even as we come over here to USC, Miller Moss is right there with Caleb Williams as far as the throwing. But when we're talking about a football IQ and when we're talking about making a critical decision, Caleb Williams has that intangible about him. He has that what you call it factor that's able to put it on the field, make that critical decision at a critical time. And that alone is probably, I would say, maybe 20 or 30% more than the average quarterback as far as wins go. That keeps a player, that keeps a team in the game. That keeps the offense on the field, wearing down a defense and allowing our defense to get rest. You feel what I'm saying? So this is a game changer. So now I'll tell you this. It's no quarterback controversy. Miller Moss is just playing some good football right now, and he's a heck of a player. And I think it will benefit Miller Moss. This is me. I think it will benefit Miller Moss, even if he is a backup, to get the training. And if you see how far he's progressed thus far under Lincoln Riley, who's a quarterback trainer of all quarterback trainers, if you see how much he's developed and progressed so far, I think it will benefit Miller Moss rather to stay there and get the training that he needs, because he still will be a successful quarterback. And you could possibly have two quarterbacks coming out this because Miller Moss is a sophomore. I think because Caleb Williams still has 2 years. They both have 2 years left. But I still think that you could see two quarterbacks coming out the same year and still be successful. And maybe of course, Caleb Williams get drafted. But I think Miller Moss could be right there because he's that type of caliber of player as far as getting drafted, man. So listen, I need you guys to get me in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Tell me in the comment section what you guys think. You think it's a possible quarterback controversy? Do you think the accurate what Lincoln Riley said about the O-line is accurate? Or you think I'm just being a homer? I'm just going off of the comments, man. I'm just going off of what Lincoln Riley's able to do, man. So listen, I need you guys to like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram, USCJ32. And listen, let's pray for that USC commit, that girls basketball player, number 8 player in the country, Aaliyah Gals, man. Let's pray for her. She was shot 10 times in North Las Vegas. And let's pray that she pulls through successfully, all right? Hey, God bless everybody. Keep throwing up the deuce. Fight on.